Hello everybody, hope you're having a nice day. So we're back today to show you our makes. You might remember in our last video we were talking through the new Lisa Comfort range of fabric sprinkles and deciding what patterns we were going to sew up, and we've actually finished doing some sewing.
Yay!
So we're going to talk through what we've made, and then we're also going to do a little separate video with our special tips on how to sew with viscose and this fabric in particular. So just to remind you of what we were thinking of making, Becca was hoping to make a Hadley top from Grainline Patterns, and she has.
I did, yeah, I stuck with my plan.
Alex was going for the Camille jumpsuit from us, one of our patterns from our Worked Weekend ebook.
Yeah, and I did.
Totally worked.
Yeah.
I was still completely undecided, but in classic Rosie style, I went for a jumpsuit. So I've made the Zadie jumpsuit from Paper Theory.
And most people will know that's no surprise that Rosie loves a jumpsuit. She can't have herself. She's got
I know. Yeah. I tried. I thought I'll do a skirt. I'll make a skirt. I was like, oh no, I'll make a jumpsuit. So let's start with you, Becca. Do you want to talk us through your make?
Yeah, sure. So I've made the Hadley top, which I've made once before. And when I made it before, I really liked it, but it was quite low. And every time I wore it, I felt like I was constantly having to pull it up. Just to be a bit decent. So what I did this time was I raised the neckline, I think about 1/2 inch, and I also took in a wedge out the back, the centre back seam, because I think that was sort of helping it to all come down. I'm quite short up here and narrow in the back, so I think doing that helped with the fit. It's also got separate armhole and neck facing pieces. Which I thought would be a bit flappy.
Yeah, so, they can be.
Yeah, so I drafted a single all-in-one armhole and then I did a bit of burrito finishing.
Oh, the best.
Yeah, exactly. One of those like, hey, is this gonna work? Is it gonna?
All of a sudden you've got a top.
Exactly. Yeah. So that gives a nice finish. And I just pinked all the seams inside. And there's a lot of top stitching. So for instance, down the centre seam. You sew down here and then you press it open and you top stitch. So yeah, I just pinked that first and then top stitched it down, and I think that'll give quite a nice finish over time. And it's got a lovely hemband as well, which I really like. That sort of gives it a bit of weightiness.
Yeah, that's nice. It makes it stand. Sit nicer, doesn't it?
I think otherwise it could be a little bit limp, but it sort of gives it a little bit of structure. So yeah, I'm dead pleased. And I think the fabric, like, I'm not a big prints person, so I like having just a little bit of it, and I think. Yeah, it's a nice sort of autumnal make that I can layer it with cardies. Got a vest under it today for added warmth, stop any drafts underneath. So I'm pleased.
Good, it's really lovely.
Yeah.
So Alex, you've made a Camille before.
I have, yes. In I think it was September or August's makes with Lisa. I made a Camille jumpsuit in a black viscose, like a black viscose crepe. And I loved that one so much that I thought I'll make another one. So yeah, I chose to make it in the cinnamon colourway, which I really like. And I think on my other one, I did a couple of adjustments. I wrapped over the bodice a little bit more so that it sat flat against my chest, and there's no gaping when I lean over. And I cropped the length, so we'll show you what that looks like, but I took about 20 centimetres off the length.
Oh wow.
And I'm 5'7".
Yeah.
So, yeah, it would have been pooling around the floor if I hadn't have done that. And I like a culotte length, so yeah, I did that. And on this one, which I didn't do on my other one, and I realised after a couple of wears that I needed it, I did a full seat adjustment. So I added in a wedge to the bottom area to just give myself a little bit more room, and really helps when you're kind of sitting down.
Yeah.
You kind of notice that in a jumpsuit, it pulls up a little bit.
That's it, yeah, it's a tough thing in jumpsuits, getting the balance right.
Yeah. You don't want to be too low, but then you definitely don't want it too high.
Yeah, and because when I wrapped over the bodice a little bit, I ended up shortening it a tiny bit, and I am quite short in the body. But I think it probably raises up the trousers just a little bit extra, and I probably could have done with that length. So yeah, I added it in the back. I didn't need it in the front. So yeah.
And how was it sewing? So it's got a zip in there.
It has a zip,
And how was that going in?
It was actually fine.
Yeah.
So I interfaced, once I'd attached the bodice, the waistband and trousers together, I interfaced the centre back seam just with like a little strip of interfacing down either side. And then I did that method where you tack the back closed, and then you hand tack the zip in to the seam allowance, undo the centre back seam, and then sew it in using an invisible zip foot, and it was perfect.
Nice.
Really happy with it. It's not wobbly, which I think is quite a common thing on viscose, but because I interfaced it, that wasn't an issue.
Nice. Yeah. The stability.
Exactly. Viscose needs that sometimes. And on to you, Rosie. I think this is your 4th Zadie.
It is, yeah. I don't know if it's a Zadie-aholic, something very cheesy like that. But yeah, it is one of my new favourite patterns just because it's very quick to sew up and really comfy to wear. And it's perfect in viscose just because it's this fabric especially is so soft. So you hear a lot of people saying the whole thing like, oh, my outfit's like secret pyjamas. And it really is. Yeah. It's really, really comfy. So I did a couple of things to the pattern. Now I've made a few of these. I just added a centimetre onto the bodice because it's a tiny bit short, and I just thought for this one I wanted it to sit at my natural waist. And then I did the opposite of Alex and actually took a little wedge out of the bum because I am not blessed with a full bottom, so I just needed to get rid of a bit of fabric there, and that's actually helped a lot for the back of the trousers because on a couple of my other versions I didn't take that wedge out, and the trousers sort of pull around the back, and then the hem ends up not being level because there isn't as much to fill it as the pattern wants. Yeah. But now it's all solved.
Nice and straight.
Nice and straight, yeah. And this is the full length trousers, which we'll show you, and the short sleeve, and it also comes with a longer sleeve that you can put on there, sort of grown on. But I just thought short works for. I can put a jumper on, or I can wear it in the summer as well. And I actually was wearing it with a jumper this morning, and a lady in the cafe said I had lovely, very jazzy trousers on, which made me think that actually this fabric would work really, really well for nice floaty trousers as well. We were talking about it, even the Camille.
Yeah, because when I was making my jumpsuit, I obviously made the bodice, the waistband, and the trousers separately before attaching them all, and I tried them on just to make sure that they fit, and I was like, ooh, these are nice trousers.
Yeah, I think like Nina trousers as well with the pleats, they'd be really swishy. Yeah. And like holiday carry trousers in this teal would be really good. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really pleased with my mix.
And it's really opaque as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
You were saying you've got a white bra underneath and you can't see. Not showing through at all.
Not at all. So it's nice, it's nice you don't often have that mix of kind of, nice and floaty, but not going to see anything through at all. Yeah. So that's really good. So when we released the sprinkles fabric, we did have a few people get in touch because they were a little bit timid about using viscose. They kind of maybe didn't know what needles to use or how to handle it. It can seem a little bit scary because it's quite drapey. So we thought we'd put together our top tips and what we've learnt from sewing up these garments, and we'll be popping that up in a separate video.
So I think that's all for today. I've heard us waffle on enough. So I hope you like all our makes, and we're looking forward to see what you guys make with the fabric as well. Bye!